Martin here, thank you for joining me for this week's turning project video. I hope you're all well and you have had super creative weeks and weekends in your workshops. This week's project is another decorative piece for the wall. You could put a base on it if you wanted it to stand up, but this is a double-sided decorative wall hanging. So depending upon the mood you're in or the decor that you've got in your room, you can turn it to match either or. It's been textured and stained and it's had rust paint stuffed on it, and basically I've just kind of let loose at it. It's taken me over a week to do because it's been the summer holidays and stuff, and I've had some time off as well, but I'm quite pleased with how it has turned out. The inside medallion here is 7 inches in diameter and the two halves of the outside medallion are about 6 inches. So there's metal leaf on there and all sorts of stuff. It's been good fun to turn. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon for another video. But in the meantime, enjoy the medallions. Okay, this week I thought I would really exercise some kind of crazy creativity, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to go crazy with some texture, and I'm going to go crazy with some other stuff, colours and paints and stuff like that. I've got a very large blank on there at the minute. It's about, let me see, it's about 7.5 by 4.25, something like that, and I want to get 2 blanks out of it. 2 blanks roughly the same thickness, and it's between centres at the minute because I've got to put a tenon on one end and I don't want to drill into it to put it on a worm screw. So it's between centres, and I'm going to put a tenon on the right hand end here, so I can turn it round in the chuck and part off 2 separate blanks and still leave me with enough for a platter or something at the end. So I'm going to get the parting and beading tool. Change the tool rest for the shorter one, which will let me get in there nice and close. Very hard wood. Right, I can now take it out of there. Sometimes it gets a bit stuck. There. Right, now I can square off the front. So I'll flatten off the front with a bowl gouge. Now I can part off where I want my 2 blanks to come from. So I've got a mark in the centre there already. If I get the pencil, and if I try and make them each about 1 inch thick, so there's going to be one there. and then when I've cut this one off I'll mark another inch, and then we can go down from there. So I'm going to bring the tailstock up for a little bit of support first off, which will also reinforce my centre mark because that's quite important. Then I'm going to take the diamond tip parting tool and I'm going to cut just to the left of the line. Slowed the lathe down because I'm kind of nearly there, and also the tool is a long way from the rest. And I'm going to chicken out. And there's what, half, 3/4 of an inch down there, so I'm going to use a saw. There, easy done. So I'll flatten off this, do another one, then we'll take it on to the next step. So here I am left with two blanks exactly the same thickness of an inch. Now the next bit I want to do is I'm going to turn this project pretty much just between centres, so I can have a bit of a play with some off-centre turning, which is something I've never really done before. So where's my ruler? There's my ruler. So I've got the centre marked on both of them, but what I'm going to do next is mark off an inch either side of centre, so I can have another centre, so I can turn it that way. Yeah. And on this one I'm going to do an inch either side of centre the other way as well. Now I need to get them between centres. Okay, so blank number 1 is between centres. I'm going to clean off the face with the bowl gouge. I'm not going to worry about the centre where the live centre is going in on each of these, because there's going to be sort of a central medallion to them. So that's going to be in the centre and that's going to be textured, so I'm not worried. I'm going to clean off the surface carefully. I'm not going to worry too much about the surface and sanding, because only a little bit is going to need to be sanded. So that's the surface of that one. And now what am I going to do? I don't know. What am I going to do on this one? It all looks a real mess at the moment, but it won't for very much longer. Right, so that's it for that side. Now I'm going to turn it round and do the other side. Do a medallion in the middle again, like we did on the other side, and there's a good reason for that. So I'm going to put now I'm going to go back to the spiralling tool I'm going to do another one. Well, first of all, just to the left of that first spiral, I'm going to put a border mark. Then I'm going to do another spiral. are nice. Oh, I don't know. It's alright. This wood is really tearing out horribly. I've sanded down, but I've now decided, in a somewhat perhaps a fit of madness, that I want to spray a bit of colour into it, just a bit, and just on the edge here, because all of this is going to have something else done to it. So just a little bit. I've got a rosewood stain. And you thought I was mad. You're probably right. Right, next step will be the last one of today. So just on the inside rim, I'm going to put the metal reactive paints I like using. Get the lathe spinning fairly slow, and then apply the paint into the groove. So to round off this afternoon's turning, the ring where I did the dremeling in here, I've added a little squirt of rosewood stain and also some of the rust reactive paint as well. So that'll be it for today. It'll be a couple of days, I think, before I can get back out to this, but it is actually beginning to turn out better than I thought it was going to, at least on this side. It's been almost a week since I saw the piece, and just before I switched the camera on, I added a little bit more of the rust reactive paint to the inside and this little rim here, and added some more rosewood stain just to this section here. I need to turn the piece around so I can do the inside of the back. Now, I'm not very happy with the inside of this, which is why you haven't seen it yet. My off-center turning attempt wasn't very good. This circle here is too big because I didn't line it up properly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scoop out all this so we have sort of a concave section here, or like a scoop out rising up to this the medallion in the middle. Right, I'll finish scooping that out after I've sharpened the scraper, and we'll then move on to the next step, because I'm making it up as I go along as usual. Now, I've finished scooping out the inside of this side of the piece, and I've finished it down to 400. I've also touched up the scorched edge as some of it kind of faded a bit, if that makes sense. And then I've added some oil over the top of that, and now in the textured area on the rim I'm going to be adding some silver gilt, because this side is going to be primarily silver. Some silver gilt on the inside of the texture there, I think, will make quite a nice oops. I'm not going to worry that it's going on the inside. But I'm going to rub the silver gilt into. That's okay. Right, next step, I need to dry the inside of that, so I'll let that dry, and then I can start putting the leaf on. I've got here some Gilder's leaf size. It's like a glue stuff, and I'm just going to put it on the bit that I scooped out. You've got to let it set, or you've got to let it sit for about 15 minutes. And I've got quite a thick brush, so I'm going to dip that in the glue, and with the lathe running that way, I'm going to have the lathe running backwards, I'm just going to apply the size where I want my silver leaf to be. And that's all I'm going to do. I need to leave that for 15 minutes, and then we can get on with the leafing. Right, it's been about 15 minutes, and here's the piece with the size. And I've been very careful around the workshop not to get it covered in dust. And I'm going to put on some white gloves, and I've got a badger hairbrush, and I'm sitting down to do this. Now, I've not really done much in the way of leafing before, so I'm kind of making it up. But there's the leaf, actually. I think it might be easier if I do it with my hands. It's ultra thin, this stuff. And then I'm just going to lie it on. Oh dear. And kind of pat it down where I want it to be. And then just with the gloves, I can rub off the excess. Okay, it's a couple of hours later now, and I've turned the other part of the piece, which I turned in exactly the same way as I did the front, and then cut it in half to be the top and the bottom of what will now be a wall hanging. Textured the back, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this side just yet. But I've also drilled the holes in the side of this piece, so these will fit on like so, like that. So they will, so you can have a front and a back of the piece. So you've got a double-sided wall hanging. Now on the front here, I've textured the medallion in the centre, and on this side I haven't textured it just yet, which is what I'm going to do now. So I've got the Dremel, and I'm going to use a round burr, tighten that up nicely, and safety glasses on as well. And I'm just going to texture the centre here, and I'm not going to pay much attention to patterns or anything like that. I'm just going to texture it. That's better. I want to texture it enough to take away the mark from the drive centre and also the live centre as well. Like that. So 15 minutes or so later, the size on this piece has done its thing, and I'm going to use this Tamize or Tamize, whatever, this stuff, which is variegated, so it's got sort of different colours in it. This stuff is less than wafer thin. They do recommend with this stuff that you actually sprinkle it on. So actually, I'll sprinkle it on. That should be enough. This brush isn't quite stiff enough to get into the into all the little grooves, so I'm going to have to press it in with my fingers. One of the white gloves. That's turned out interesting, hasn't it? Right, I'll leave that, and now I'm going to do the other bit. Here are the pieces. There's still lots and lots of the metal leaf that needs to come off, so I can get a lot of it off just by brushing it, but I thought a little go over with the buffing wheel would help. So I've put the buffing wheel into the Jacob's chuck, which is clamped into the lathe with the scroll chuck. I'm going to let it run fairly slow to start with. That's actually coming up a lot better than I thought it was going to. I'll speed it up. Right, let's do these bits. That's come up quite well. I'm pleased with that. Go, here it is, it's finished, all been epoxied together, and I've just fashioned a very simple hanging hook that fits in there like so, so you can hang it this way round or that way round. I'm really pleased with how the project has turned out even. It was good fun to turn, it was good practice with the leafing effects and stuff like that, and also to have a bash again at some texturing. Really fun project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you again. Excuse the door. I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.